Hey there, I'm Annie Havlin, your host of Talk It Up TV, the show that's all about positive messages and random acts of kindness. What can one individual do to help stop huge international problems? Take human trafficking, for example, the modern-day slave trade. It's enslaving more than 30 million individuals today. We are about to introduce you to Doug, a recent contestant on The Bachelorette. Ladies, you're gonna not want to turn this one off. So what was it that he did? Well, if you're curious, I guess you're gonna have to watch and find out.
This is Talk It Up TV.
I grew up mostly with my grandparents. My dad had seizures. Since he had seizures, he'd never really dated. And he met this woman, convinced him that the love of his life, and they ended up getting married. She did not tell my dad that she had a really strong track record with drugs and prostitution. Married her, and then they had my sister and I, and shortly after I was born, she took off again, and she ran off with the guy that she had this strong track record of bad stuff with. My dad was left with 2 little babies and working in a gravel pit. So he got sick and didn't have any money to go to the doctor because he had to buy groceries for my sister and I. When my dad died, I was 1.5, passed away one night from double pneumonia.
When I was 18, I met some new friends. I didn't know it, but they had partnered with people who had stalked me for about a year. I had no idea, but I was just meeting these guys for the first time and they knew everything about me. He really was persistent with me. He wanted me to call him all the time and see what was happening all the time in my daily life. And this happened for about a week before I decided to go and hang out with him up in the Seattle area.
There was a small life insurance policy. My mom ended up coming back. We spent the next few years in and out of foster homes and some really abusive situations just because my mom brought, for lack of a better term, her pimp back. And she was still doing drugs and being a prostitute.
We were hanging out for about 4 days and everything was all good and it was all fun, and he kept his promise that this is the life of the rich and famous. I really did feel like I was glamorous and beautiful. On the 3rd day he said, let's go to Arizona for Christmas vacation. And so, being from Washington State, I thought that was a fantastic idea, get out of the rain. Well, I had to return my parents' car, and my friend Evan said that he would help me move out and return the car. When I showed up to Evan's apartment, he kept asking me all these questions, and I started realizing that he wasn't going to help me move out, that he was trying to convince me that these were bad guys.
Parents should be aware that the risk is there. You know, you could live in suburbia, you could live in the city, you could live anywhere. The risk is there because the demand is there.
Sex trafficking is the recruitment, harboring, and transportation of an individual for the purposes of commercial sex.
I was really just pushing away from everybody. Somebody saying that my new friends who are helping me out, live out my dreams, that that's a bad person. And so I was really offended, and I told Evan, you know, I don't need your help, I'll figure this out on my own. Well, when I went to leave, his parents and my parents were there, and so he really ruined my trust for him. And I felt like he was destroying our friendship by practically snitching on me.
They feel a sense of allegiance and a sense of camaraderie with this person who has manipulated them into thinking that I'm everything you need. Your parents didn't care enough about you to prevent this from happening. They don't understand you. You know, you're having a tough time with bullies at school. You don't have that problem here. I take care of you. You have nice things. You're never hungry. You know, you just have to do this one thing for me.
One of the reasons my grandfather was such an inspiration was that he lost my dad and his youngest daughter in the same year and went right to straight fighting for custody of my sister and I. And then right when I went to college, my grandpa ended up getting cancer, like right as I left. So, you know, when I started to think about, okay, what am I gonna do with my life? Am I gonna help people with cancer, or am I gonna help sick kids, or am I gonna help people that have autoimmune diseases like I had, or foster kids. I decided to start $1 per month because after, going through first the things and ended up with my grandpa, having all these things that were near and dear to me, I thought there's just all these things that I wanted to support. You go out and you look and there's already really amazing charities for everything. What if I could get, 1 million or 2 million or more people to just give a little bit every month, and then we could give that pooled money to the best charities in the world. This was one of those things that I have a vision for, and that vision is to make the world a better place.
About 30 minutes later, this woman walks into the room, and I had no idea who she was, but my mom said, "Congresswoman Smith?" And I thought, Congresswoman, what? And then she introduces herself as someone who is experienced in getting girls to recognize and get out of human trafficking situations.
Shared Hope International has been an amazing organization to work with that we'll continue to work with for years and years to come. It's not just about supporting the best charities. It's about giving people a reminder that there's these things out there that matter, and caring a little more about the world we live in, because there is things out there and there's people out there suffering and there's causes that need help, that if we all just give a little together, we can make a big difference.
After I realized that this could lead down a very bad, scary path, I decided to be honest and open up with Linda, and they ended up finding out that that trip down to Arizona for Christmas vacation actually wasn't gonna be a vacation. It was my destiny that they had planned for me. That's where it really hit home. I never thought that people out there existed like that.
Keep a dialogue open with your kids about the risks. It encouraged them to understand that stranger danger is a real thing, not only when you're 5 years old, but when you're 15 years old.
If there's one thing from my story that you learn, I hope that you take it to a youth. Teach youth about sex trafficking so that they can save a kid's life, just like my friend saved mine.
Hey guys, I'm back. It's Annie Hovland, and I have again with me Doug, you saw earlier on the show. So Doug, when we first met on the show, hi Doug, you gave a really good message that really stuck with me, and that was your message for $1 per month. Like, how can you as one individual make a difference in this world when it's just little us? What are we supposed to do? And we went out and we did the story on human trafficking, which was an organization that you guys helped, and it really hit my whole crew. And after going through that, we wanted to do something too. And we were stumped, to be honest with you. We didn't know, you're right, how can we? I can't go start my own $1 per month. So what we did is we went out into the community and we told people about $1 per month. And so what Yes, and so what we did, we have a little surprise for you. We have a bunch of new people that have signed up for $1 per month that we wanted to hand over to you.
Gosh.
Because we thought what would be better is that if we all just join forces.
Seriously? Are you kidding me? This is amazing. Wow, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, there's so many here.
Yes.
Look at all of these new members.
There's people from all over the place too.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
So Doug, if people at home are watching and they want to go check out your website and they want to also
I'm a little floored right now.
participate, where can they go?
www.dollarpermonth.org. So dollarpermonth.org, and thank you.